Thanks for staying with us right here on Sunrise as we continue this morning. Now, many matriculants go about the year without knowing what they will study post-matric. Now, this can often lead to them choosing paths and not furthering their studies at all. Now, this morning, we are going to look at the importance of choosing what to study post-matric, as well as give some tips on how to narrow the search. Joining us for a conversation this morning is Sifiso Mnisi, who is the head of a program at the Faculty of Humanities at the Independent Institute of Education. And you at home can be part of our conversation by giving us a call on 011-447-1742 or 447-1620. Your comments are also welcome on our Facebook and Twitter pages this morning. Good morning, Sifiso, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Penny. Thank you for having me.
So just tell me briefly about what the Independent Institute of Education is all about.
The Independent Institute of Education is a provider of higher education and training. We are, in fact, the largest higher education provider in the country and the most accredited higher education provider in the country. So we've got different brands where we provide different programs through our various brands, such as the Varsity College, Rosebank College, and Vega.
Okay.
Yes.
So now, students who are in the class of 2018 by now should have a sense of like what is it that they're going to study, you know, based on the subject that they chose, maybe in grade 8 and things like that. But then we find ourselves a lot of youngsters after finishing matric, not being sure of which direction to go. So in two parts, speak to those who are like still in grade 8 making choices, you know, how their choices are going to affect what they're going to study post. And then we'll address those who might say, oh, I don't know what to do now, and I've passed matric.
To our youngsters who are still in grade 8, for example, or grade 9, going to grade 10, those will be the ones who might be getting to a point where they start choosing subjects. It is important for them to go for subjects that will not limit them. As you know, we are still young when you're doing grade 8, and chances are by the time you get to grade 12, you have changed, your interests might have changed. So it is very, very important that you go for subjects that will not limit you in any way, subjects that will enable you to go into as many fields as possible. So
as a parent, I'm faced with that youngster. They're in grade 8 and 9, and they have, I mean, I can hear a lot of parents, he likes too many things. How do you help them? Firstly, choose the right subject or channel them towards a career that, you know, they can perform at their best.
I think there are kids, yes, who like many things, but as the saying goes, the jack of all trades, but a master of none. It is important as a parent for you to be able to see what your child is good at and perhaps support them in what they are good at doing.
So in terms of like program offerings for those students who might have already have chosen those different subjects and they now find themselves not knowing which direction to go, what sort of things do you guys have to offer?
You know, it is very, very important then as a student who might feel that perhaps they chose a subject path that appears to be different now from what they were initially interested in. They need to bear in mind that there are things such as bridging courses that one could take up in order to try and steer them back to what they were initially interested in or what they were now interested in.
Okay. And then there's a talk about, you know, the 4th industrial revolution. So the subjects that I might have chosen 3-4 years ago, and, you know, I'm a youngster now, and I'm thinking whatever I'm studying now, 3-4 years down the line, career-wise, what sort of, you know, programs or fields can they be exposed to?
I think where we are now, the 4th industrial revolution is a new phenomenon. And globally, we are still coming into terms with it. I mean, I was reading a book by Klaus Schwab. Now, he's the founder of the World Economic Forum. Now, in his book, he speaks about how some of the fields that we have now will be relevant to kids, for example, who are doing grade 1 now. So what is important is that we position ourselves in such a way that we become versatile people and try and take part in programs that will enable us to be skilled in many different fields. I mean, definitely there are fields that will be relevant by 2030, for example, but fields such as those in marketing are most likely to be resilient in the face of the 4th industrial revolution.
Okay, so basically, you know, if I'm a parent and I'm not exposed to those things, and then I want be able to guide that youngster that I have with me in the house, what would you advise I do?
In terms of adapting to the fourth industrial revolution?
In terms of like career choices, that could sort of like, you know, they can still have opportunities when it comes to the fourth industrial revolution.
It is very, very important that we do not limit our kids. As much as there are so many things that are available out there, as I said earlier, it is of utmost importance that we ensure that we observe our kids and understand what they are good at doing and try and support them in areas where they appear to be excelling.
Yeah. Okay, so let's say I've got this idea that I'm thinking, you know, I want to go into medicine, but I'm not that great with mathematics. I mean, what are some of the things that you think I should do?
Yeah, you see, then it is very, very important for us to be realistic with ourselves, to ensure that there is that unique link between what we are interested in and what we are able to do, because you don't want to end up wasting your time pursuing something that you might never be good at doing.
Okay, so but what do you, I mean, if a parent finds themselves in that predicament, what do you say they do? If they came to your institution, what sort of advice and how can you direct them?
So we normally have got support structures for people who want to go into certain things that they might not be well vested in. So the job of the institution then is to understand your needs, but to also make you understand your abilities as well, and to try and support you up to a point where at least you can realize success.
Okay. All right, we got a caller on the line. I think it's Ntombi. Hello, Ntombi? Ntombi? Ntombi. Okay. It sounds like we've got a bit of a challenge there. Okay, so choosing the right institution to study at as well. What should I be looking out? I mean, you mentioned the ones that you're with. So I'm going into a particular field. How do I make sure that I'm choosing the right institution that will sort of like help me perform at my best and, you know, increase my chances of employability when I graduate?
You see, in choosing an institution, it's important for you to understand, do your research on the industry that you want to go into the field. And after you have that understanding of the field that you want to go into, start looking for institutions that have got a good reputation as far as that field is concerned, and then choose such institutions.
Okay, we're going to try Ntombi again. Hello, Ntombi. Ntombi. Okay, all right. Ntombi is on the line, but Ntombi is not talking.
Hello, Penny.
How about Ntombi?
Hello, Penny.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello, Ntombi.
Hello, Penny.
Ulaitile TV, so kasi nku.
Penny, nake uka.
Okay, bua khe.
Penny, nake na le problem. Na I'm a married woman, Penny. One cook Penny. I'm a married woman, can I live 42 years old, and I go to a work Penny, can I diploma in marketing. Marketing and now when Museveti wa teng go thola gore ke thola bo Museveti hole and jale sekena le bana. So nna ke batla go tseba gore jale ka ha sekena le marketing and ke batla go etsa teaching. Go ka kgonagala na gore ke tsele pele gore ba kgone le go grade mo go teaching.
Oh, okay. Okay, Sifiso. So you understand her question?
I understand.
Okay. So I think she wants to change careers.
Ntombi's dilemma is that she wants to change careers, but she, from what I'm understanding, is that she feels that she has grown as well, and now she has got responsibilities and so on. My advice to you as a parent who wants to study further, you could consider taking part in a program that is part-time. Okay, and in terms of you being credited for the modules that you have done, it would depend on the institution what the specific modules we're focusing on. So they would need to do the mapping of the modules itself to see, you know, to what extent the modules that are in education, you know, match with those that you would have done in your diploma in marketing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that would be a decision that is taken by the institution.
By the institution that she's going to go into. All right. You know, we're living in times where people say, follow your passion, you know, do what you love, and you never work a day in your life, and all of those fancy catchphrases. But passion doesn't pay bills. there's another quarter of people that are saying that. So what do you say to especially this generation? You know, they're like, I want to do what I want to do. How do you help a young person?
If a person says, I want to do what I want to do, if they have an understanding of what it means to do what they want to do, then they should go into it. I mean, we live in a time where anything can virtually become a money-making activity. You know, you could make your livelihood from doing what you love, but it is important as well that we become realistic with ourselves, not waste our time on things that are fruitless.
Okay. Finally, learners, to get more information on the various fields to study, what can they do? How do they get hold of you guys?
So one thing that I've noticed is that in the time that we live in now, in our high schools, primary schools, they've introduced technology. They are given, you know, tablets, and there is internet. What I want to put out there as a challenge to my colleagues in basic education is to encourage students to use the technology that is provided to them effectively, to move away from using these tablets and the internet for WhatsApp and Facebook only, to teach them how to use it to search for information that relates to life after matric, to life after school. Because the problem that I've been noticing recently is that we've got so many students that finished matric last year, and now they're sitting at home. Others are saying, no, I don't know what to study. I don't even know about the funding opportunities that are available out there. Now, that simply tells that the technology that was given to them wasn't used effectively. So that I would encourage you know, my colleagues in basic education to support students in that space.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Thanks very much for chatting to us. That was Sifiso Mnisi, the head of program at the Faculty of Humanities at the Independent Institute of Education this morning. On the other side, Mark Chase brings us the latest stories making headlines. Do stay with us.